When it comes to the truth, sometimes in life, yes, it hurts, but there are other times when it can set you free. And Josh Pate had something to say on his show that I absolutely agree with, and that's West Virginia fans and West Virginia deserve better.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host here. Welcome back into Locked On West Virginia. Appreciate y'all for being here with me today. Is something happening on TV? Is there a tournament on or something like that? In all seriousness, though, appreciate y'all for being here. Going to be brought to you by our friends at Mazda. And right now with Mazda, we put that same drive into every detail. When to define the moment and putting in that work, that defines you. Stay tuned for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen and for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where we're talking about your team, the Mountaineers, and every single day. All right, so on today's show, going to be kind of an interesting show, I think. I think a lot of times you get so caught up in what is everybody in the fan base saying, or what is the perception outside the fan base rather than anything else. And, a lot of times that can have some really negative connotations associated with it. Sometimes not. In this situation, I feel like there's a truth bomb that's been dropped in a lot of ways. And it's a simple thing. It's not like he went in, really, really in depth or anything. It wasn't a big soliloquy. He just simply stated a couple facts that I think that probably outside of West Virginia, people may be surprised to know. And I think he also said what every West Virginia fan has been screaming in the void for years, right? West Virginia deserves better. It deserves better. Not kinda, not maybe, not if things go right, better. So we're going to talk about that. And also, can we and do we get better? That's the next part of this. Do we get better, or are we stuck in this rut? I don't know. That's a good question as well. So we will dive into all of those different circumstances and everything, because I think it's definitely worth talking about. Definitely worth talking about. I'm hooking into my coax right now. If that's happening, it should help. That should improve the connection. All right. So let's start with my opinion here, because I think, when somebody else says it, it's better, because when we say it, it's biased. When the national media says it, or with a guy like Josh Pate says it, it hits a little differently. So let's kind of jump into what he said and what he talked about. He was talking about the 4 fan bases in college football that deserve better. Out of the entire country, he picked West Virginia as one of those fan bases. And what that really means to me is somebody that recognizes the passion is there at West Virginia. He talked about when he came and visited last spring, and what that, what it looked like. And he was thinking, man, how awesome would it be if this place was back? Because the investment is there, the expectations are there, but the results haven't matched it. How many years have we thought we were going to be good preseason and didn't happen? And that's including Neil Brown's last year. So I think, these things do happen to us, and it's just the results haven't matched that. And that's kind of where it hits home for us, right? Because I don't think this just isn't just a compliment. It's also an indictment, if you really want to look at it like that, from Pate, because it is a compliment to the fan base and the university at large, for sure. We do deserve better, but it's also an indictment at the same time. It's both, because when you say someone deserves better, what you're really implying is you're not getting what you should be getting. And West Virginia's in that scenario. I think with, one of the things that we can say proudly as a fan base is we have that fan base investment, right? And that's where I want to start because West Virginia fans, we show up regardless of the circumstances for the most part. I mean, now might we have a game, in a season where we're 4-8, where we don't fill the stadium? Yeah, there might be one or two of those sprinkled in. But for the most part, West Virginia fans show up. When you play North Carolina in the Duke's Mayo Bowl, a meaningless bowl game, West Virginia fans show up. You got a game out in Utah versus a 10-win Utah team, West Virginia fans show up. In basketball. If you got a game versus Colorado when Colorado is terrible, West Virginia fans show up. And Morgantown is a legitimate home field advantage in both major sports, women's, men's basketball, and college football. We know that. The travel is you see gold and blue people everywhere. You go wearing gold and blue and all that. And then there's the other part of this, that the engagement of West Virginia fans. West Virginia fans show up, man. I can't explain, or, I can't really, I mean, I can, but I choose to believe that it's because of the love of our state and how people feel about that. If I'm frozen, there's nothing I can do about it, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's happening. But I think overall, you look at it from the standpoint of West Virginia fans deserve better. Absolutely, for sure. But they also give a lot. And that's without getting much in return, So this is a fan base that really cares. And I think that it stands out because our engagement is as good as any team in the country, whether that is on X, whether that's on social media at large, whether that is at the games. It's all really good. And that's without having a winning team in all the years that he talked about, which was, I think we're going on 7 years without even appearing in the top 25. It's insane when you really think about it. I mean, it really is. I struggle to think about, just how long it's been for us, because it seems like it hasn't been that long. But then you go back and look, and the last real big, great season we had was in 2016. That's 10 years ago. It's hard to believe. It really is. It happens fast. Here lately, it's been pretty inconsistent. We've had a lot of coaching turnover in both major sports. No sustained national relevance. And there's a disconnect in a lot of ways. I think that's what Pate's pointing out here. So I think here's what not enough people talk about is the flying WV logo and the equity that we build up with that. It's kind of gone, So I'll explain again for those that are asking. Josh Pate went on his show and outlined 4 teams that deserve better. And he picked Virginia Tech, which is true. I mean, we don't like them, but for the engagement, and they're not Pitt at Virginia Tech. Like, they show up, like I can respect real. Just because we hate them doesn't mean we're not going to sit there and pretend like they're not a good fan base. They're a good fan base. And they haven't been good in a while either. Nebraska is another team like that. Nebraska, to an even further extent than us or Virginia Tech. I think Nebraska has sold out every game for the last however many years it's been now. They've sold out every game. So, yeah, certainly they deserve better. And there was one other team that I can't even remember who it is. Who was that other team? It doesn't matter. Maybe it was only 3 teams, but either way, that's the premise. Is just basically, hey, look, you look at what West Virginia is. They haven't won in almost a decade, really. They had one good year under Neil Brown, but we haven't appeared. We haven't even appeared in the top 25 in over 7 years or whatever it is. It's 7 years. And I don't think a lot of people knew that outside of West Virginia till he said that. We've known it for a long time. It's a big reason we talked about with Neil Brown, like why he needed to go, is because we weren't even appearing in the top 25 ever. So I think at the end of the day, y'all, this is the most optimistic I've been in a while about both major sports. And so after the break, I think what I want to do is kind of go over, can it get better and will it get better? Honestly, like not just BSing. What do the tea leaves say? Because you could go either way on some of it. You could say, well, I mean, I don't really see football turning around because of these things, or I don't see basketball turning around because of these obstacles. There are both that can be happening. We'll talk about all that next.
I'm Kalia Butler, host of Locked On Women's Basketball, and this is Mazda's Women's Basketball Snapshot, celebrating the work no highlight reel can ever capture. It's officially tournament time, and the number one seeds are set. UConn is the number one overall seed at 34-0 and will headline Fort Worth Regional 1 at Dickies Arena. Joining the Fort Worth site as a top seed is Texas, leading Regional 3. Out west, UCLA enters at 31-1 and takes the top spot in Sacramento Regional 2, while South Carolina leads Sacramento Regional 4. The first round of the tournament tips off this Friday. These moments are earned off the clock, those long before the lights ever come on. The sweat, the fakes, the doubt, the scrapes, and coming back for more every time. Mazda puts that same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment, putting in the work, that defines you. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you.
All right, guys. And obviously, back here at segment 2, where I don't have a do, I have a Gator do. We'll crack that for you guys really quick. And by the way, thanks for being here. So, a couple things. I think my big thing right now is, can it get better? Will it get better? Those are great questions. I would like to go over some of that. So before we do, the Locked On Everyday Club, guys, LockedOnWestVirginia.supercast.com is very important that you sign up if you can. Promo code March, LockedOnWestVirginia.supercast.com with the promo code March. Doing a great job over there where you get ad-free shows. You get merch. They've done a bracket. They've done a little bit of everything. So would love to have you come hang out and see what's up about with the Locked On Everyday Club. All right, so back to this talk here, because what have we lost anyway, right? Like, what have we lost? Well, I think we've lost some of the swagger we used to have, some of the confidence. We used to go into every game feeling like we had a shot. We've been searching. And when a program loses its identity, the fans feel it for sure. Recruits notice it, and it becomes evident to the outsiders. When the outsiders start seeing it, that's when you know you've got a larger problem. And I think that's where we're at now. It's finally to the point to where the outsiders are like, hold on a second. This has been a longer wait than we anticipated for them. They've been in the Big 12 how long, and they haven't done anything? It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. So it definitely hits a little harder when you hear a guy like Pate go in on it, who has no dog in the fight. In the modern NIL era, West Virginia is mid to middle of the pack at best in the Big 12. That's not counting the Big 10 or the SEC or anything else. In NIL, in the portal, players we get in for the most part, and revenue sharing, and they've been trying to find that balance. So I don't think Josh Pate is wrong in what he said at all. As a matter of fact, I think it's worse than that. I think it's been we deserve better for years now. And I think that we're in a situation to where it's to the point to where we may lose the program, I think, personally, in football. if it doesn't turn around under Rich Rodriguez. Unless something crazy happens that I'm not foreseeing, I don't know. But by the time 2030 gets here, something tells me we need to have this thing turned around a little bit. So, the team winning matters. I don't think people realize how much it does, but it does. Here's another uncomfortable question, I think. Respect in college football is not given, it's taken, right? And right now, West Virginia hasn't consistently taken it at all. And I think the frustration, the hope, no, not fake hope either, like the actual hope, real data backed hope, right? Is it in the building right now with Rich Rodriguez and company? Because if you're a West Virginia fan, this part should make you sit up a little bit. When you hear the name Rich Rodriguez, last year that it was very divisive. A lot of people were either with or against this. But is he going to win though? That's what it all comes down to. At the end of the day, even the people that hate him won't hate him for long if he starts winning again. Year 2 has meant something under Rich Rodriguez during his years as a head coach. At Glenville State, they won one game in the first year. In their second year, they almost went 5-5. Then by year 4, national title. West Virginia, 3-8 in year 1. Year 2, 9-4. That's a flip. You beat Virginia Tech. You had a top 25 finish. You'd already established your identity by that point. And then you became within a hair of playing in the national championship game and going on one of the most dominant runs that we've seen in our history during those years. At Michigan, started out 3-9. Year 2 was 5-7. Unfortunately, he didn't get to coach much longer than that before Brady Hoke came in and won with his guys. I do think it would have been turned around, but Michigan was too much of a culture shock for him and he for them. It was just too much. Too much Rich Rodriguez for them. They weren't able to invest in all his ideas. What about Arizona? Well, he took them in year 1. They were 8-5. Year 2, they were 8-5. Year 3, they won 10 games. What about Jacksonville State? We all know that. Year 2, they were 9-4. So it's always been the same pattern with Rich Rodriguez. Install, jump, peak. I think we're in the jump season right now. I tend to wonder whether the jump is going to be as high as some other jumps have been. Could they go higher? Absolutely, they could. I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case because of certain limitations with the portal and things. And, they were further behind than we would like to admit in the beginning. And so I do think the jump is going to happen here in year 2. As a matter of fact, I think it's going to be a nice jump. So, we've talked about that on this show quite a bit. And year 3 is that peak window, which I think is next year. I've thought about this a lot already. If you've got Kevin Brown coming back for his second year, and you've got Amari Latimer coming into his second year, and you've got Landon Livingston and Nick Craig coming back, one of those might be seniors, but at least one of those guys will be back, I think. I think a couple of these guys you've got this year are juniors. Mixed with, you look at all the receivers and everything. Jaden Bray's a guy that can probably get another year if he really wanted to. And there are others too. Like offensively, I look at this team and they could have a lot of Scotty Fox or Michael Hawkins Jr., either one could be back next year. Like next year is, if this year goes well, like let's say you win anywhere from between 7 to 10 games. If you can get there this year, like I said, 7 to 10, I'm not saying you're going to win 10. If you can get into that range, then even maybe 6, and you return everybody back again next year, that's going to be the year I think that you target. but this year could happen a year sooner. You just have to have a few guys hit that maybe your casual fans don't know about, which we've talked about on this show multiple times. Whether that's the JUCO guys or whether that's your freshmen, you're probably going to need both, honestly. But you know, the pattern with Rich Rod is where we were at kind of here, and I think the reason it works is it's it's not really a plug and play system. It needs a quarterback that knows how to run the offense. Sorry, guys. My eyes itching so bad for some reason here, like really bad, burning. Smells like somebody's got a big fire going out there or something. But you've got quarterback comfort, as far as how comfortable do they get. You've got the offensive line cohesion, which is usually have a Trickett or another guy that's been a good offensive line coach outside of last year with Bicknell. He's always had speed at the skill positions, and he's always had that tempo he's been known for. And when I look at this offense this year, I truly believe all those things are present. Defensively, I have no clue what we're going to look like. I couldn't begin to tell you. And as we get closer towards the season, I'll probably have more of an opinion on that. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't mean to keep itching this eye. But yeah, so as we get closer to the season, I'll have more of an opinion on that. But it's going to hit fast. And when you look at this West Virginia team, it's interesting. I think there's a lot to it. But, what's the system what's it looking like? Because more than likely by now the system's mostly installed. You're probably shaping the roster into looking more like your guys. The portal strategy should be getting refined at this point. And obviously your quarterback battle is happening. So you don't have your established quarterback yet. That's another thing. If West Virginia had an established quarterback this year, as far as just a guy they knew for sure was going to be good, not because I do believe one of the other two are going to be really good, but we haven't seen it yet, so we can't. There's no way to know for sure. But usually, whenever he's got that quarterback at this spot ready, historically, that's when his teams have taken a jump. Does that guy exist in Morgantown this year? Is Scotty Fox or even Max Brown, for that matter, or Michael Hawkins Jr., the guy, which I think two of the three have a real shot to be. If history tells us anything, this is the year he jumps. That's what he's always done. He's never not improved in year two. So what's your improvement like? What are you looking for in an improvement? Are you looking for year 1 to year 2 like he had at Michigan, where it was 3 to 5 wins? Are you looking at a year 2 like where he was at? Trying to think of a good one. Let me look. I've lost track of my head. I've been trying to do this by memory. Okay, yeah. Like, is it going to be like West Virginia last time, which is always a great example? Will it be like Michigan, where it's 3 to 5 wins, or will it be like Arizona, where you go from 8 to 10 wins? Which obviously you can't do that because we haven't even won 8 games yet. But you get what I'm saying, plus 2 more wins, which would be 6. Glenville State was 1 to 4 wins. West Virginia was from 3 to 9. So, it's just a bunch of different things that's happened for his year 2 teams. I would lean closer to 7.5 this year for me personally. I know FanDuel has it at 5.5. I think West Virginia will be closer to 7.5 because of the offense. And we'll see what happens with the defense, like I said. So, yeah, I mean, West Virginia deserves better. Absolutely. Was it going to get better? That's the big question that a lot of people have on their mind. Jacksonville State, by the way, 9-4 in their second year. It's a proven thing that he's done now at multiple different stops at multiple different levels, except for one. And even at Michigan, they improved from 3 to 5 wins, whether that matters to you or not. I don't know. He wasn't really given enough time there. I've said multiple times, like unbiasedly, he really what like there's a book about it and everything called Three and Out, where they were like, yeah, like he just got everything kind of switched, and then they kind of pushed him out the door. So frustrating for Rich Rod. We're going to break here. We'll come back. We'll put a bow on this one, guys. Stick around here at Locked On West Virginia. All right, guys. Are you talking about our friends over at 5 Hour Energy today? And I would highly suggest getting a 5 Hour Energy shot right now, as they are killing the game again. And we're not surprised to see it. 5 Hour Energy is that spot, man, that you can definitely get things from that can make you and yours happy. Here's how. There's the energy draft going on right now with 18 different flavors. You choose which one you think is best or number one overall. There are new options like Confetti Craze, Fruity Rainbow, Cotton Candy. There's something for everyone here. And so I'm going to look at it. The flavors are set, and I've got my number one pick for the 5 Hour Energy flavor draft. I've got to go, and I went back and forth on this one today when I came on to read. I think I'm going to go with Hawaiian Breeze today, because Hawaiian Breeze is literally a breeze that you can feel and taste the caffeine while you do it. And it's made with passion fruit, orange, and guava flavors in a smooth, tangy, tart type flavor profile, which is really good. If that's not your thing, I would probably go Fruity Rainbow, because that's a bright blend of assorted candy flavors that are playful, multi-fruit style, taste profile. It's a smooth and easy drinking texture that you would absolutely admire and love yourselves, I promise. Head to 5hourenergy.com today, or you can go to Amazon to find all your 5 Hour Energy flavors and do it today. Where did my button go? There it is. And Game Time, guys, right now with Game Time. I love talking about Game Time on this show. They do such a great job at Game Time as well, just getting you hyped up for games. And right now with Game Time, the biggest stretch of the college basketball season is almost here, with buzzer beaters, bracket busters, and those unforgettable moments that everybody's talking about the next day. But being there for something like that actually takes courage, and that's the bracket list stuff that we love to talk about. The hard part is, well, it's kind of always getting those tickets, right? Long queues, prices jumping around, surprise fees at checkout. You too can get there by going to Game Time's app, downloading the app, and then going with Locked On College to check out your first thing, guys. It's right, with constant innovation going on here, and it's how you unlock amazing tickets and experience in just a few taps. It's incredibly simple to use. There's a Game Time guarantee, which gives you 100% guaranteed tickets delivered on time at the best price. And here's your answer to the question, by the way. Yes, it is good. It is going to change the game for you. And if you want to check out the seat view feature, that is the game changer you're going to need, because you can view the seat in the app before you buy, literally look around 360 degrees. It's really cool. So take the guesswork out of buying college basketball tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use Locked On for $20 off today. That's right, guys. When you head over to the account, redeem the code LOCKEDON for $20 off today, and download the app today. All right, we are in segment 2. No, we're not in segment 2. We're in segment 3. Sorry, guys. A little distracted here. My phone is, so. All right, so I appreciate you all for being here. Make sure you like, subscribe, the whole 9 before you go. And I will absolutely hang out and give you my thoughts on the rest of this here. For those of you talking about it freezing, it's not on my end. It's on the company's end. I can't do anything about it. I've already called him about it. So there's nothing I can do. It's literally out of my control, So the company that, as far as Armstrong or whatever it is that I get my internet from, they do a very poor job of upkeep. And I mean, we've had a lot of weather. So, I don't know what the deal is with this right now. We'll see if it continues to be continues to be a problem. Hopefully not. I'm about ready to move up out of here, to be honest. I'm getting so frustrated with everything all the time. But yeah, I do apologize for being frozen or anything on this one. Hoping it gets better. It's just one of those things that I can't do anything about. My computer stays plugged into the cable, and beyond that, there's not much I can do. Right, so hopefully it gets better for y'all. Thanks for making this your first listen tonight. You guys are great. I know it's March Madness, and I don't want to keep you long, so I'm just going to say this to end. Yes, I think Rich Rodriguez is going to change Morgantown. I do believe it. I think year two is going to be a jump up to 6, 7, maybe even 8 wins. And then who knows beyond that, depending on retention. You can keep those guys, then you're talking Big 12 championship and maybe more be in the future. I certainly believe in Rich Rod. He's capable of that. And it'll be fun if it happens, right? We deserve it. So let's pray that it does happen. And we can all be lucky enough to see it in our lifetimes again. So thanks for making us your first listen tonight, guys. I will see you on the next one right here on Locked On West Virginia, where we don't forget to cue those country roads.